Welcome to Ulua. You live, you work, you art.
Hi, it's Carol from Ulua again. So welcome back to the channel, and we are going to talk about overthinking, which is something I have suffered from in the past quite a lot, because I don't know if I have said this, but I consider myself a recovering perfectionist because I don't think that you can fully recover from perfectionism, but you can go and make step by step better and quicker decisions than when you are a perfectionist. Because when you are a perfectionist, you tend to look up for every detail and every failure and everything that you consider that's defective in the thing that you're doing, and your product, your project, whatever it is, that your art, whatever it is that you do, tends to never see the light or the light of the sun. So you always keep things to yourself, and you try to do things better and better and better. And maybe just one single thing that you want to accomplish, and you want to have it fully um, distilled and what's the name of it? Fully. I can remember the name of the. I will put the name of the of the word, but you want it to be the brightest start in the universe because that is your thing, your baby, your whatever it is that you're doing, and these kind of things would also do, and it comes to mind right now, a person that I have been in contact with for some time, and he wanted to build a product, and he wanted me to be part of his project, but I tried at first to understand what it was that he wanted, and after some time I really realized that he was not willing to share full details of the project, which I thought that was kind of weird, because if he wanted me to collaborate, he would have to give me access to the things that he was doing. But at the same time, he was too protective of his idea. And this happens a lot, and it has happened to me in the past too, with other colleagues that wanted my collaboration, and also with my own projects in the past, because you always think that somebody will steal your idea and you will end up, I don't know, being the one alone while the others are multimillionaires with your idea, with your work. And that never happens, actually. It's all part of this perfectionism or this overthinking of things. And in the end, you find out that nobody really cares about the things you're doing, and nobody is ever thinking about stealing the things you are doing, because everything is like recycle. Like we mentioned in the chapter about originality, that there's nothing original right now. So nobody will steal your idea, or if they do, they will never do the same way that you will do it. So it doesn't matter really. Um, but when we, in this case, if you are a perfectionist and you want to have everything perfect and brilliant and original, and you want everyone to recognize you as the creator of the thing you're doing, and all those kind of things, it generally comes from too much overthinking, I say, because um, you have everything and every step and of the process and everything that you you want to accomplish is just right here, but you're not doing anything on paper or in the, transforming that into the physical world. You're just thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking. And this happens a lot that I really expect it to happen in real world. As I said, it happened to me in the past too. What tends to cause this is, or why we do this kind of thing, is because we are afraid that our thing will be stolen, that we will fail and people will laugh at us. Maybe that's true. Maybe people will, or maybe they won't, because they will never see what we are doing, or they will never get it, or it doesn't really matter what other people do about that. But it's generally just in our heads that we are thinking and thinking, oh, people will laugh at me, or they will consider me a failure. Um, all these kind of things, this uncertainty, these assumptions you are making, or sometimes what happens is that you are overthinking about a project and you think, I will make lots of money with this thing, and it's all in your head and you never take action really. So those same scenarios playing and playing and playing in your mind don't get you anywhere. And the worst part is that you're feeling every time or day after day even more stuck than this keeps like fueling your uncertainty, your fear, and you are always thinking new scenarios. What if I did this? What if I did that and that and that and that? And everything is in your head. And again, this has happened to me. So what you actually realize that to overcome that is that you have to start doing something. And when you start doing, or sometimes you think that things will be super easy. Oh, I will do this and this and this, and then I become a millionaire. And it doesn't work like that. You have to put actual effort into doing things. And when you do things, you will, well, I wouldn't say 100% sure. You may be lucky enough to do a thing, and then maybe Lady Luck has touched you with her wand and you will be successful out of nowhere. But that's like not the general case. So that is not the majority of the cases. In the majority of the cases, you will have to try things. You will fail many times until you can get a solution for the thing you want to do. And again, you have to start putting yourself in motion, because that's the only way of really understanding what is that you are trying to do. Because sometimes when we have this in our minds, we think everything will be easy. We think that everything that comes to us, we will be able to solve on our own most of the time when we have this fantasy in our mind. And when you start working, it's nothing like you had in your mind. You actually start to bring it to reality, and reality slaps you in the face. And I'm not trying to be super negative here, because again, as you are receiving this kind of failures and things, at the same time you realize, I hope, that you are able to solve these things, but not the way you had them in your mind. You will have to find real solutions for them. And when you have these ideas in your mind, it's nice because everything is fine and secure, and maybe nobody else knows about the things that you're thinking, and you have every scenario in control in your mind. But then when you try to bring it to reality, what happens is that, for example, you came secretly up with a full product and everything is perfect for you, and you think this is the solution that everyone in the world should have, and you present it to an investor or you present it to the world, and nobody likes it, nobody wants it, it's just garbage, and it ends up being in the trash can. So for things to really get to fruition, you really need to start doing things. And here is another topic that I used to think when I had all these fantasies in my head. Um, for example, like I needed motivation for doing things, that I needed I needed passion, and I needed to really pursue my passion and the things I really wanted to do. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't follow your dreams, but if you are going to do that, try to be awake and not just in your mind thinking about these dreams and floating in the clouds, because you have to start doing things, and sometimes even mm, having some difficulties in real life and doing things, failing, coming back, reassessing, redoing, take risks. Um, Maybe you need, for example, a friend to work with, or a colleague, or a teammate, or whatever, another person to help you with your dream. And these people will make mistakes, might not understand what you want to do. You will have, I don't know, money restrictions, time restrictions. You will have so many things going on. If you live in Argentina, you always have like crisis and everything. Economic is like complicated all the time. And if you are a local, especially. Um, so there will be things that you need to solve. You will need to solve those things, and trying to always do the best you can, of course, but never think about having the perfect thing um, for you to succeed, if you want to say that. I don't know if succeed is the right word, but you get the idea, right? So I talked about motivation, and now that I'm getting even older and older, and I really realize that motivation is never, never the thing to wait for to start moving, because motivation may never come. And even though if you have this dream, or if you want to do something, you can't trust motivation, because you can be motivated one day, but what happens when you are not? Like, for example, today I didn't really feel like recording, or sometimes it happens to me, and I sometimes think, I don't know if it's the best time to do this, but I have to show up because I set myself as a commitment to do it. So, of course, there are some cases where I might not be able to make it due to extreme situations, emergencies, you name it. But if I can, if I have nothing super complicated going on in my life, I have a commitment to do it. So motivation has nothing to do with, in this case, this podcast. And you just have to show up and do the things the best you can. Um, and this is a realization that took me really so many years to understand. And again, passion, the other thing. I always had, it was really funny because people that really know me, really close friends, uh, the new me knew that I had to be always wanting to do something. I had to be passionate about a thing in order to do that. But right now, I think that is why I think I'm recovering perfectionist, and every time I think I'm doing it better, in the sense of I no longer need like this passion. For example, I always mention this because this is something that I'm doing right now. Uh, I have always been doing crafting and many artistic things, but never drawing, for example. And I just started. I started and I said, okay, I'll see where this goes. And I don't have to feel motivated or passionate about drawing in order to start doing it. That's really interesting now that I think of it. And so sometimes the best way to do things is just to commit to it. And then is when it gets trickier, I could say, because again, for some people, it really works to have a day in the week where they go to a place, for example, and they commit for an hour to dance, to practice certain things, sport, whatever it is. For other people, it is no, I will do it when I have 5 minutes. I will do these things really quickly, and that's it, even though if it's a complete failure in the moment. And it's diverse here. You have to find your own way to do that. But one thing for sure that you have to do is to interrupt your current patterns. So if you are a person, for example, this happened to me a few months, more than a few months before, then I restarted cooking at home. And at first, I didn't want to do it because I said, oh, I have to cook again. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to prepare. And it was a whole story to do that. And now I just say, oh, it's time for me to start cooking. I say, well, I go and I do it. And it's just like that. I know it's not that easy. At first, I struggle a lot because you also have this emotional triggers, so things that happen and say, oh no, I don't want to do that. I'm tired. You start to make excuses about everything. But maybe again, what can help you is I will put on my timer, and in 10 minutes I will go and do that thing that I'm not doing. And it takes time for you to really do that. But also it takes commitment and courage, and you have to find your own way. There's I think that's the best way to find your own way. And again, another thing is that I think has helped me a lot is that in my case, well, I used to quit things, not much, but I consider myself not a quitter, or at least that was my commitment for this year. Because remember when we talked in the very first episode of catharsis, and that I was last year was a complete mess. So this year I said, okay, I will start by committing myself to not complaining. And if I don't complain, I have to do something. If I don't want to complain, I have to do something. So I started with that attitude, and really has helped me a lot this year. And now that I'm thinking, also with cooking, for example, and with many other things. I guess also it helped a lot being healthier than I was last year, because if you are not healthy enough, it's kind of difficult for you to be really committed to doing things. But yeah, just to sum up, because I'm rambling a lot here. Though I used a lot my own experience and that, which is, I think, really the only thing I can bring to you, because it's my experience. It has passed through my body and through my mind and through every cell in my body. So I really think that it matters. And if I had to sum it up, don't overthink too much, unless, well, I guess overthinking is never a good idea, but there are some problems that are really difficult and you have to put some thought on them. And it also reminds me now of, I was listening to a podcaster, I will not name names, that she says that you don't have to think, you just do things, just do it in 5 seconds or something like that. And that's quite a complicated suggestion to make to people, because yes, if it's a trivial thing, maybe it's just for lunch today, okay, you can decide, oh, I will have, I don't know, a hamburger. But if you want to really be committed in the long run, for your health, for example, maybe that's not the best option, and you should really sit down and think about the consequences that this decision will have for you in the future. So yeah, don't overthink, but at the same time, don't take everything lightly. So again, put some restrictions and say, okay, maybe you will take some things at a time. Now I will take care of my health first. So everything that is related to health, I will pay attention. I will take my time to decide on that. And maybe I will live for the next stage of my life, I don't know, other things. So you have to prioritize. We always end up talking about the same things for business, for art, for life, for everything. You have to prioritize what's the most important thing for you and make the decisions based on those priorities that you have. And also in this prioritization, you could say, okay, for health, what could have the most impact in my life? So I decide for this prioritization the most impactful things and decide on that, instead of deciding of everything that comes to mind, because again, you will be overwhelmed, right? So yeah, I know it's difficult because you have to find a balance, but this is something you can actually do. And if you feel that you need help in order to be committed and that kind of thing, you can always find someone to help you. So again, I think overthinking is leading, it could be leading you to anxiety or depression or both, because you are like running all the scenarios and your mind will be stuck and overwhelmed, and you could have even worse consequences. And remember, again, in this channel, we want you to be you to have a mind palace, which is the best possible you can have, and every time constantly improving. So just that. And and now it comes to mind, this is something stupid and only for Spanish speakers, because I like a lot a comedian here from Argentina, so I will leave the link to the video in the comments or in the description. I don't want to know. And this video is, again, it's like a stupid video, but he is a person that he wants to go out with a girl, and the girl is super emotional and everything, and she says, oh, I know you are, I don't know, Aries in Saturn. I don't know about astrology and that kind of thing. And he says, yeah, but I think that astrology, blah, 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 blah. And everything the girl says to him, he's like always putting his mind into the conversation, and actually he doesn't realize that the girl wants to be with him, right? And at the end of this sketch, he says the girl leaves because she's angry with him. He's not paying attention to her words and her actions. And he says, yes, I think, and I think, and I think, and I never.
Beep.
So it's really funny. And it's really funny for me. And I always think, when I'm overthinking, I always think about that. And I think we all have this struggle. But by understanding why is that you overthink and trying to dissect and think and analyze why you do that, is especially looking for ways to overcome it, finding your way. That's the key thing, right? And maybe you will have to try different things and fail in the middle. You will try, I don't know, for example, it comes to mind, what's the name of this? Pomodoro technique, right? So you want to do something and you put your timer and your slots, and that might not work for you. Like in my case, it didn't work for me. So I had to discard that technique and that tool and go for another one and look for another one and see what really clicked for me. And sometimes it also happens that for different topics or different areas in your life, this tool may work and this might not. And so you have to find out what's best for you. Anyway, I think I've talked too much, and I hope this serves you in some way, and please tell me if this helps. This can be also applied in different topics in your life, for relationships, for work, health, productivity issues, procrastination, I don't know, so many things. So please comment if you have some case on this matter, something that resonated with you or something that you think could help you of the things that I said. And comment, like, share with other people if you consider that this might help them. And also, if you want to contribute with the channel and with me and want to invite me a coffee, that is so much appreciated. And thank you for being here, and see you in the next episode. Bye bye. Blah, 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 blah.
Stay tuned for Uluwa's next episode.